standing in the open sun with a black shirt on, without a glass of wine in my hand.
Do you
It's my favourite pastime.
I think I... Ow, balls.
Oh, you got a little stung, have you?
That's all good. Ah! And welcome to Roaming the Rhone. Biodiversity is a bit of a buzzword on everyone's lips. You'll see where I'm going with that later. And here we are in the Côte de Rhone at Domaine de la Bastide to talk about how and why biodiversity is so key. Well, hello and thank you so much for having us at your beautiful vineyard. I can already tell it is hopping with life.
Bouncing, teeming with life.
Biodiversity. We're here to talk about the birds and the bees, not that kind.
Glad you pointed at him.
So I'd love to know more about why is biodiversity so important for the vineyard and in the Côte de Rhone?
Nature is, we have to preserve it, and that we need to have wildlife around us. So because we are wine growers, we really can have an important impact. When you have life and biodiversity somewhere, you have less disease, so the health of the vineyard is better when you have some wildlife around it. Also, it's nice.
Yeah. I think there's a lovely moral responsibility to make sure that things stay the way they are.
Yes.
I'm just, may I pour us a glass of wine? Do you mind?
Yes.
So in what way does biodiversity help as an impact on the positive quality of wine?
Since I work in an organic way, I really have seen a difference in the profile of the wines. We have really more fruity wines. They also need less product to have them to age. Yes.
So what sort of things do you actually do here that promote that?
I have a partnership with the League of Protection of Birds, so to protect 3 kinds of birds which are now in danger. And these 3 birds are, I need the word in English, I'm sorry.
I believe one of them's called a little bustard?
Yes.
The little bustard.
A little bustard. Do you see many little bustards around here?
No, we don't. They are very
handsome.
They are very rare. The population of these birds have decreased from 90% in the last 50 years.
Oh wow, okay.
In our region there is now 16 couples. The League of Protection for Birds says that 8 of these couples were in my vineyard.
Oh wow.
So to protect this year is a year that needs big areas without trees. And so I have, it's not exactly here, but 10 kilometers from here, where I have top growing a field. And I will let him during 30 years without
just
nothing.
Let it go.
Yes, to help this bird.
That must attract all sorts of things back. I mean, not just little bustards, but...
Not just little bustards.
Alouette, woodlark.
Woodlark.
Very lovely.
Chantalouette.
Yes.
Voilà. It's a songbird.
Yes.
Oh. Well,
Nice
we've heard
song.
some beautiful song. We've heard bird songs since we came
and
to the area. It's just beautiful.
And so this is the first thing I'm doing. The other one is to sow some flowers when we pull out vines because it's too old. I let the soil during 4 or 5 years without nothing.
Just to regenerate.
Yes, and so I try to sow flowers to have bees and insects.
And has that increased the bee population?
Yes, I think so.
Well, that's important to everybody. You know, we've always been told how essential bees are to the food chain. And
there's a real buzz about the bees.
Libby.
Then I'm part also of the Observatory of Biodiversity in agriculture.
Fantastic.
So we count earthworms and butterflies.
You count them?
On 1 meter, you take some water with mustard in it. mustard.
Pour it,
Okay.
yeah.
Yes.
And it makes them come to the
And
surface.
you blend it, you put it on the ground. Earthworms, they don't like mustard, so they...
So before you look
They
after
come-
worms, you've got to choke
Yes.
them first. You've got
Right. And so you can count them and see if your soil is alive or not. So it can help us to know if our practice are good or not good, and perhaps to change and to evaluate.
You can hear by the bird song, and you can see by all the flowers and the bugs and the butterflies that you're saying, and
Yes.
the bees, that, I mean, how alive this place really is.
Yes.
And it's fantastic that Côte d'Irone's doing that. What about bats?
Bats
Did I
are
hear about
very,
bats?
very useful because they eat a lot of insects. Bats can eat each night something like 1,000 mosquitoes or something like that. It's enormous.
Well, I'm a fan of a bat then.
It's very good
Hate mosquitoes.
insecticide. It's the best insecticide we can find.
What do you think of the wine, Andrew?
Beautiful sort of fruit coming through in it. The,
Lovely, lovely broad
apricots
flavours.
and
This one is quite typical blend for Côte d'Iron. It's Roussanne, and then Viognier, Claret, and just a little bit of Bourboulin.
Ah, Bourboulin. Just a spice, touch of spice.
Yes.
Very big fan of that variety. Well, thank you very much. And what I love about this
My
wine as
pleasure.
well, I think a lot of people at home, if they want to really know why I like the Côte d'Iron wine so much, particularly the whites, is they have texture, they have extract. You can drink them on their own, you can drink them with food, but most importantly, they don't have to be big. I mean, this wine's 12.5% alcohol. And you think because you're in a hot place, it's going to be like Californian, Australian, 14, 15%. But this is muscadet.
It's got good acidity.
Yeah,
and
very drinkable.
Nice
and,
fresh tons of peaches.
Peaches
Peaches and apricots all
Thank
over
you.
the place. Well, we're sitting in it, we're listening to it. Is there any way that you could show us around a bit? Maybe we can see some of the wildlife and some of the stuff you're doing.
Okay,
Sounds like fun.
Let's do
go.
it.
Let's do it.
Bring our wine, right? Joe, come over and count some butterflies.
Have you found butterflies?
I found one. I think we're scaring them all
Beautiful.
away. Now, I know that this place is biodiverse, so we're going to find one at some
I mean,
point.
it's funny because when you're looking for butterflies, you see 19 other far less savoury insects. There's one.
Oh, no, that was a cricket.
Oh, okay.
It's close. Okay, got one. I got one over there. I've got one butterfly over there, over there, over there,
Well,
over there.
in the
over
distance,
there.
in the
I got it.
distance.
I got it. It counts. It counts.
So that's one,
We got
two.
one, two. Okay, so I haven't had amazing luck with butterflies, but it's hot, and this is definitely thirsty work.
It is. I wonder what Andrew's up to.
How impressive it is. Just there. Yeah, it works. Works a
Can I
lot.
walk over
Yes,
that
yes,
way as
we
well?
can have a look, yes. So it's very important for us. Et là maintenant, elles vont recommencer avec les lavandes.
Pollinate the lavender.
Yes.
Okay. And you said earlier that you're going to have more hives.
Yes, I will have on another field. I will have 80 hives.
You need to go because they're not happy.
Il faut reculer.
Many thanks, Vincent.
Thank you.
Merci. I'm going to keep this on because I think I've upset quite a few bees
Yeah,
today.
there's still one.
They don't like me too much, but it was very interesting to see all the hives and to see what you're doing here. And great. So thanks very
My
much.
pleasure.
Again. Let's go back and find the others.
Well, welcome to us here at Chateau Cahola, Jerome's wonderful estate. But we're here in Sablé, stunningly picturesque. I'm here with Jerome, owner of the chateau. I just wanted to ask you, biodiversity is a really a buzzword we're hearing from everybody. And it's so nice to talk to people where it's not just about growing grapes anymore. It's not just about how many cases of wine can I sell. It's about protecting and curating the special place that you have. I mean, what does biodiversity mean to you, and how does it help you in your job?
Biodiversity for us starts by respecting the nature. But I have one very good sentence from an Englishman called Francis Bacon, the philosopher.
Yes, not the painter.
He was saying, no, not the painter. He was saying about the nature. The nature cannot be commanded, accepted by obeying her. So we need to obey the nature. It's impossible to go against her. If not, you fail. What makes us maybe a little bit different? To help the nature, we add in our vineyards some mushrooms. The mycelium of the mushroom is getting the water. The roots of the vine is giving some sugar to the mushrooms. Every year seems drier. It's warmer, so it's not so easy to fight against the sun, and we need to provide water without irrigating to the vineyard. You will maybe think it's strange, but we use music in the vineyard. So twice a day we have 7 minutes of music in the vineyard. So it's not Iron Maiden or AC/DC. It's another style of music. Yes. It has been invented by a very special person. He was physician and mathematician. It's like Morse, you know. It's so every music note is linked with a gene.
Yes.
A gene, and the succession of
stimulation of vibration, or
that's it. And every note, cool. every note representing a gene. After you reproduce the total genetic code of the virus we want to fight against.
So
I'm not too sure it's working, but I am using it.
So it's like an ultrasound knife. It's removing very specific unwanted predators by stimulating or vibrating them at certain frequencies. That sounds amazing.
So is this a lot of you trying a lot of different experimental techniques when you took over the vineyards?
Yeah, we try every year some things, we leave some, but now we are quite stable with that. We are quite stable with mushrooms, bacteria, music, and sheep. Lastly, sheep. They are cleaning for free, but it's not bad. They are, of course, eating, and it's going out the other way.
And producing the best fertilizer.
And it's bringing bacteria.
Of course. It's creating more energy in the soil.
That's it.
There's so much going on, there's so much to process in one go, but what I want to know is if it makes your wine taste any better. Can we try some of your wine, please?
Yes, I've been clutching this glass.
I'm Libby, what do you think? I mean, it's got a fantastically dark colour.
Beautiful colour, amazing nose.
Jerome tells me this cuvée is sans sulfité, it's completely unsulfured, it's as naked as it was born.
And in terms of the assemblage, is it Syrah?
So it's, alors, assemblage, about 70% Syrah and 30% Grenache, with around 3 months of wood in big barrels we call demi-muit. You know, in France we have a lot of names for this strange shape of wood.
This is so much better than barrique.
Yeah, it's about 650 liters.
Andrew did pick up. I mean, what's lovely about this wine is it's got such pure varietal expression.
Yeah,
Andrew was just saying he can see the black pepper and white pepper, the Syrah notes on the nose, the lavender. The colour is much deeper, I think, because we've drunk almost entirely wines which are Grenache dominant. This wine is now Xylem.
But really feel the spice, but it's also got an incredible freshness to it. I'm loving the fruit coming through on that. So yes, it's got tons of that peppery notes, but so fresh.
The freshness, we are quite sure of that. When you are organic, you have always more freshness because the acidity is naturally a little bit higher, because the potassium that makes fail the acidity is doing something else that getting into the grape. You know, here he is into the wood and not into the grape. So we are losing less acidity. So we have this natural freshness, and you see it's 2020. It's still really deep blue.
Yeah, it's blue purple.
And
also it has a sometimes fine wines and very expensive wines sometimes taste of violets, but this tastes of violets. I mean, there's a real like somebody's put sucre de violette in your wine, and it's quite stunning.
Well, absolutely gorgeous. Thank you so much. Cheers.
Thank you to you,
guys.
Cheers.
Cheers. I mean, it's so beautiful. I'm so tempted by that pool down there, but I suppose after talking all about that, we should go check out your vineyards.
Yeah.
Should we go have a look?
You got honey and everything.
Remember, sucrosité.
Sucrosité.
amazing day talking about biodiversity, but I'll be honest, I'm torn for my favourite moment, whether it's you in a giant bee suit
Oh my God, that
or
was so good.
you on a quad bike. I don't know which one is actually my favourite
You're
moment.
having a lot of fun.
I had my hat on. I expected an Asian kid to run past going, Indy, Indy. I was like, I needed a bullwhip. That was all I was missing. But what an amazing place. The views.
Oh, the views.
You can rent that place. Oh my God. And the
should see
wines were
that.
very good too.
Yeah, the wines were really lovely.
And he was very passionate about everything to do with the biodiversity of the place, the flowers, everything about the area.
And he talked
Speaking
some fairly
out.
serious, quite good technical stuff, but then he had a brilliant way of explaining why it worked and why it made sense. And I just thought, he's the kind of guy I'd work for, a really interesting bloke.
Yeah.
And we had a great walk up to the top.
I mean, you
were
had a great walk
You
up
were
the top.
nicely dressed.
I was wearing the wrong attire for a very hot
You went for
walk up
Commando
the hill.
Yum, but she's like,
It's like crawling my way to the top.
and of course with biodiversity comes other things, and their honey was amazing.
You missed out on chasing the bees.
No, I did miss that.
I was just on my own for that.
It reminded me of the scene at the end of Independence Day when it's like a David Lean shot when you can see Will Smith walking across the shimmering sort of like Black Rock desert and it's like his flying suit. He's just walked out like this kind of. We should have had dry ice for you really when he came out in that bee suit. It was fantastic.
Basically, we're going to get you in it again just for that moment. All right, cheers, guys.
Yeah, and here's to Andrew's future as beekeeper.